All right, Sid Lowe is fantastic, but here's something that's much better, Jules. We call it Quick Hits. Kyle Walker is in the headlines again. After getting criticized for inviting escorts to his house, he drove to Yorkshire to visit his sister, then swung by his parents' house, and then went on a bike ride, all in violation of lockdown rules. Or rather, he could have done, I think, one of those things, maybe the bike ride, but not all the other stuff. Now, he took to social media to complain that he's being harassed by the press, saying it was affecting the health of his family and young children, and asked, quote, "At what point do my feelings get taken into consideration?"
Oh.
Jules, I bet you have a ton of sympathy.
Oh, Kyle, I'm so sorry for you, mate. I wish Gab and I could come to your house and comfort you and maybe not provide the same service as those girls provided when you pay for them. I've got no sympathy for you. I've got nothing to tell you. I've had enough of you doing what you did in lockdown. You didn't even have a good season before lockdown anyway, so I could not care less about you, Kyle. I wish you all the best, though, with this very difficult time where people harassed you clearly because you do nothing wrong. But I do hope that your children are okay and your family is as well. But for you, I've got nothing but no sympathy at all.
You know what? I know for a fact that Kyle Walker has an agent. He could probably use some sort of PR consultant too to stop him doing stupid things. Look, the business with the escorts was stupid. He apologized for it, and that's fine. But once you're out there doing this stuff, you know what? You can't really play the family and young children card, right? You've lived in this country for a long time. You know that you're going to be targeted. Yep. So you know that when you leave, they know where you live. You leave your house.
Exactly.
Oh, look, where's Kyle Walker going? Oh, look. And then you go and he visits his sister and gives her a hug. And then he goes to visit his parents because he wants a home-cooked meal. He goes on a... Well, what the hell? And then you go and you bring up your family? What? I don't even want to get into private life, family, kids, escorts.
Yeah,
what kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But honestly, think about it. A bit of PR, a bit of image, enough whinging. Just shut up, follow the rules, and get on with it. This is exactly what the majority of your peers and colleagues and the majority of people in this country, indeed around the world, are dealing with.
Right, Giorgio Chiellini has a book coming out tomorrow, and to promote it, he gave an interview in which he called Mario Balotelli a negative person who deserved to be slapped around, while adding that former teammate Felipe Melo was the worst of the worst, a rotten apple. Gab, your thought? Or is he just to sell books, or does he have a point?
I don't know. I think when you're going to be in the media, if you're in a public figure, you have to decide who you're going to be. If you're going to live your life like, say, Paolo Di Canio or Hatem Ben Arfa, and you're going to be outspoken and whatever, that's fine. Then you are going to do that. If you're going to live your life and saying, look, I'm the intelligent footballer, and Giorgio Chiellini, he has a university degree because he studied on the side while playing professional football. He speaks in complete sentences. He's on the board of the freaking Players Union and freaking FIFPro. So if you're going to be Mr. Institutions and Mr. Veteran Leader and Mr. Team Captain, you can't come out and say stuff like this. This is just cheap. Nobody likes Felipe Melo because when he was at Juventus, they paid a ton of money for him, and he was terrible. Picking on Felipe Melo isn't picking on somebody your own size. Picking on Super Mario, who, let's face it, has done a lot of stupid things in his life, isn't picking on somebody your own size. I'm not even going to get into the fact that, Mario Balotelli might come back to the Italian national team at some point, and Giorgio Chiellini, for better or worse, is still on the team. What message does it send to this guy? Why do you have to go and think, oh, look, I'll get a little more attention if I have a pop at these two idiots who nobody seems to like anyway? Personally, I am 100% on Team Mario here. He basically came out and he said, look, you had plenty of opportunity to tell me this stuff to my face, and you didn't. Marco Tardelli, even, world champion, he came out and he said, you can't speak that way if you want to have some sort of institutional value. He came out and he says, oh, I hate Inter Milan. This is good for you. But decide who you want to be. If you want to be a leader in football politics, as supposedly you do, and in the Players Union, you cannot go and talk that way. Now, Jules, let's get this out of the way. I'm sure you've got news for me regarding your boy Kylian Mbappé, because it wouldn't be quick hits without an Mbappé update.
It's your weekly update of Kylian Mbappé, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Kylian Mbappé finished with 18 league goals, and so did Wissam Ben Yedder. So we had a share number one for the top goal scorer in the league this season, and the league decided to give it to Kylian Mbappé because he played less games. So he had 18 in 20. Ben Yedder had 18 in 26. Mbappé didn't score any penalties, so he had 18 goals with no penalties. Ben Yedder had 15 goals and 3 penalties, so they gave it to Mbappé as well because he had more assists, so he was involved in more goals. To which Mbappé responded, all right, okay, thank you, but I wish I could have shared this one with Ben Yedder. Remember, they played together for the national team. And I thought it was a nice gesture for Kylian to offer the possibility that maybe they could share it. The league said, no, we can only have one winner. Which is a bit weird, but you know.
Which is kind of stupid.
Yeah,
also,
it's a bit stupid.
What does it actually mean? Your name in the record books? Do they actually get a golden boot?
You get a little, like a little, hey, yeah, thank you, people. You know, this is my golden boot, right. I guess. I think it's a ball or something.
Kylian, I love the sentiment. Here's an idea. I know for a fact that you can probably hire some jeweler. In fact, it would help the French economy as well, because these guys have workshop at home. Have them make a replica trophy, right, and then do a double blind test with Ben Yedder. One will be the real one will be the replica one, so you don't know who's getting which one, right? That would be a great gesture, and that would also help. That would also help the French economy.
That would be nice. Yeah,
I think you can probably afford it.
Yeah, probably.
Now, Jules, Louis van Gaal, your old buddy, who I believe you once called a fraud,
and rightly so as well.
He spoke to a podcast called, and I hope Jan Joost approves of my pronunciation here, Een Tweetje met Yves. And he said he had no ill will whatsoever towards Jose Mourinho, of course, replaced him at Old Trafford. But he said he blamed his demise on Ed Woodward, who he described as, quote, an evil genius. Does this make sense to you? Is Ed A, evil, and B, a genius?
So evil, I don't think he's evil. I just think he's completely out of his depth, and that's not the job that he's supposed to do. He's not very good at it. And right now, as we've seen in the last 7 years, pretty much, that has been more lows than highs in what Ed Woodward has done as a Manchester United CEO. Technically, that's what he is. He runs the club on a daily basis and looks after everything, basically. Genius, however, I believe that in marketing wise and in that in his field, his real field, which is not what he's doing now, but what he was doing before in his previous life, at United, genius, no doubt. He grew that club like no one else did. He was very instrumental in how big Manchester United became, how rich Manchester United became as well, and for that I think he deserves a lot of credit. But not just what he's doing now, because that's a fracasso, like we've just learned with Sid. You would agree, right?
Sorry?
You would agree, right?
Yeah, and look, by the way, to be honest, it can take a genius to fire Van Gaal. You don't have to be an evil, manipulative genius. Like, you just look at it and say, you know what? Nobody likes you. You play crappy football. We're underachieving. We think Mourinho's a better bet. I mean, at the time, it probably made sense. Yeah. Now, Heung-min Son has completed his military service in Korea, and he's done it in style, Jules.
So I was trying to research that. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's done it in style or not.
But what? We all read the story, right? On the internet. It must be true.
Yeah, no, I saw him with his, being very happy with his mask and looking fresh.
Did he receive some special military commendation?
Yeah, he did, but I just thought they all did. I don't know. Sorry, Heung-min Son, if you got an A star or A triple star in military service. I'm not really sure. That's what I was trying to look for before you asked me the question. I don't know, but good for him, I guess. This is one thing that he won't have to think about anymore or feel the pressure. He has to win the World Cup or the Asian Games or the Olympic Games, unless he would have to spend three more weeks somewhere to do the military stuff. So yeah, I guess. And I assume that's all I have on this. Sorry.
And I assume he'll be flying back soon, and you might see him around, because if I'm not mistaken, you live right near the Tottenham training ground.
Yeah, he's a neighbour. But yeah, I mean, good on. I guess it's a good thing that that he did. He's ready if needed one day. Right, finally, Gab, Borussia Mönchengladbach, famously, he's giving fans the opportunity to buy cardboard cuts out of themselves at the Bundesliga return behind closed doors, so you'll have those people in the stands to pretend it's not so much behind closed doors. And so, in Denmark, AGF Aarhus says, hold my beer.
Absolutely. They went one better because... And it's funny because this is I find this absolutely brilliant because it sums up the time, right? So we've all become massive Zoom users. I think a lot of people probably hadn't heard of Zoom until 3-4 months ago. So they did a deal with Zoom where they're going to set up big screens around their pitch. Obviously, Denmark's returning shortly and it's going to be behind closed doors. And you can pay to basically zoom into the game so that you'll be watching. And when players score, they'll celebrate. They can run towards you and they'll be confronted by this gallery of fans on Zoom, and look, it's a stupid gimmick. It's a marketing ploy for Zoom, but you know what? It's creative.
It's good.
And for me, it's it's better. We've had the robots in Taiwan or Korea, wherever it was. Gladbach, their big cardboard cutouts of Germans are
good
sweet.
idea.
Again, also slightly creepy as well.
It's nice. And
they don't move, right?
No, they won't move. But still,
Yeah,
it's not like Home Alone, when he does like Michael Jordan, just like this. That would be even better. Imagine they would be like, hey, I understand.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.